Guys. Hopefully we get this thing right this time. YouTube! What's good, guys? It's your boy TD, and I'm back again with another video from Fantasy GoodeSports, guys. And today's video is going to be on too early Week 10 waiver wire ads. Yes, guys, I got some waiver wire ads for Week 10, and it's on a Monday, so I will go through and do another waiver wire video on Tuesday, but I wanted to make sure that y'all get it now so y'all can at least have some players in your mind of what you're going to be doing for tomorrow. So make sure you hit the like button and subscribe to this channel. This is cutting edge content. I said what I said. This is cutting edge content. Okay. So let's begin, guys. I'm gonna start with my quarterback waiver wire pickup, and I'm gonna give you kind of how I'm on the guy, because there's a couple guys out here. But the first guy I want to talk about is going to be Marcus Mariota. Yes, guys, Marcus Mariota. And the reason why Marcus Mariota, to me, is one of the best quarterbacks to play is I only seen one game where he backed up Jaden Daniels and had a below 20-point scoring game. That's only been one time. So I believe with Jaden Daniels being out probably rest of the season, I think Marcus Mariota can give you a safe floor. He has rushing upside. It's hard to find rushing upside because guys, they pick those quarterbacks up very quickly. But he has rushing upside. Now, this week's matchup is very tough. It's Detroit Lions. They not garbage. And they're not giving it up behind the dumpster. But what they do, what Marcus Mariota can do is give you a safe floor of rushing upside. And that's, to me, that's good enough in fantasy when you're trying to stream a quarterback. So this is not going to necessarily be your starter, but if you're streaming him, I think he's safe. He's one of the best quarterbacks. And he has a great offensive coordinator like Cliff Kingsbury, who's going to draw up plays for Debo, right? So Debo is really the only guy over there that we can depend on. Terry is going to be out for a while. Luke McCaffrey broke his collarbone. So I still think Marcus Mariota can still be good and give you a nice floor. Let's move on to another quarterback. Guys, if CJ Stroud is dropped, pick him up. I like the way this offense is looking. I think they moving a little bit different. They're not holding on to the ball. They're getting the ball out quicker. I think Nico Collins is going to be fine. I think Xavier Hutchinson is going to be fine. And I do think they try to make a move for a wide receiver in this market. So I like CJ Stroud. He may be out this week with the concussion, probably so. But I still like the way he's been looking the last couple of weeks. This team is really good with the defense. And it's only going to help the offense be able to grow and be fantasy football startable. So guys, let's get the likes up. Make sure you hit the like button. Let's get the likes up. Moving on to my next quarterback. It's going to be Justin Fields. Yes, guys, Justin Fields. And listen, I told a lot of people don't touch Justin Fields, but to me, the difference, the common denominator of picking up Justin Fields is basically when he came to the end of himself, he said he cried in his closet. To me, that's a different guy. I think he's not the same quarterback that he was 2 or 3 weeks ago. I think he's probably going to play his best ball. And the reason why he's going to play his best ball, his job could be taken at any time. So to me, that makes it a different Justin Fields. And I'm willing to play Justin Fields if I need to, right? I'm willing to play Justin Fields if I need to. What's going on, G-Wiz? What's going on? All right, let's move on to some running backs. My running back waiver wire pickup for Week 10 is going to be R.J. Harvey. And guys, they playing against the Las Vegas Raiders, and we know they're giving it up behind the dumpster. They are giving it up behind the dumpster. And so I think it's rookie season, and it's also getting cold. It's time to get these running backs off the waiver wire and stash them. So R.J. Harvey, guys, I think J.K. Dobbins is fading down, and I think R.J. Harvey is trending up. So you want to have this guy, and I think you could start him going against the Las Vegas Raiders in Week 10. Going on to Bashal Tutin, the backup running back from the Jacksonville Jaguars. Like I said, it's getting cold. I think he's a better goal line running back than Travis Etienne. So if you want a running back that can get goal line opportunities and make big plays, I think Bashal Tutin is a guy that you need to pick up off waivers and stash him, or you can even play him if you need to. He is going against a tough matchup like Houston. So make sure you pick up a guy like Basher Tootin, where he could be a league winner. We don't know who's going to get hurt. Look what happened with DeAndre Swift and Kyle Managai. So you need to make sure. Thank you, Harabi. Appreciate that. So you need to be able to pick up this guy. You never know what week you're going to need him. You could need him 1 week. It could be the fantasy football playoffs. You never know. Moving on to another running back is going to be Isaiah Davis. Yes, Isaiah Davis. And the reason why I like Isaiah Davis, we know that the Jets like to run the ball. I believe Isaiah Davis, and Breach are going to be fantasy startable running back. I think Isaiah Davis is going to be like the pass catching running back. And if you going through a bye week where you don't have any running backs, why not pick up Isaiah Davis when he's going to catch 3 or 4 passes? We saw that Justin Fields did target him the last game that they played, which he hasn't been targeting a lot of running backs out the backfield, but he did the week before they had the bye week. So I like Isaiah Davis if you need a running back. I'm not saying he's going to be a top 5 running back, but can he give you a floor of top 24? Yes, he could give you that. He could give you top 24 numbers, top 32 numbers, right? So I like Isaiah Davis. Let's move on to the wide receivers. And as you see on the thumbnail, this is my favorite guy. It's going to be Alec Pierce. Guys, I think he is the 1A, 1B wide receiver in Indianapolis. He's going to start getting 8 to 10 targets a game. They are going against Atlanta this week, so lower your expectation a little bit because Atlanta is really good. They have a really good secondary, but it doesn't matter. Alec Pierce, with so many weapons on this team, is going to be fine. And don't worry about Daniel Jones. That game is just a game. It's the NFL, guys. It happens. We saw Aaron Rodgers throw 3 picks and he win an MVP. They struggled the first 4 games, and he ended up winning the MVP. So you're going to have bad games. You're going to have good games. Chase the game script. Alec Pierce has a great game script for the Indianapolis Colts. So that's what you chase. And I think he's a starter for you for the rest of the season. What's going on, Jay Moore? What's going on, Vamos? Moving on to my next wide receiver is going to be Rashid Shaheed. Rashid Shaheed. And the reason why I like Rashid Shaheed, guys, is I think he could be traded before the trade deadline. The trade deadline is tomorrow, right? So Rashid Shaheed being a deep threat, being a boom bust guy, I think that's how you win fantasy football leagues in weeks. He's going against Carolina, who they was giving up behind the dumpster, but actually I had to revisit this defense and think, you know what, this Carolina defense is going to be good going down the stretch. That's how quadrants work. Things change. But I still like Rashid Shaheed. I think he could be traded. So these guys that got trade type things on their name, like people are like, oh, he could be traded here, he could be traded there. You need to be picking these guys up and stashing them and see what's going to happen. If nothing happens, maybe you can drop them after. But I don't want to see Rashid Shaheed go to somewhere like Buffalo and he's playing with Josh Allen and you didn't pick him up and somebody else picked him up. So I just want you to be open-minded in case these guys get traded to a perfect situation. Moving on, and my next wide receiver, guys, I didn't tell anybody to play because I didn't know Brian Thomas was going to go down in the middle of the game. But Parker Washington, I don't think Brian Thomas Jr. is going to play this coming up week. Even though the matchup is tough going against Houston, Parker Washington should see 8 to 10 targets. There's no other wide receivers out there that they trust. Diami Brown is out there. Parker Washington is out there. No Travis Hunter, probably no Brian Thomas Jr. So that makes Parker Washington be an 8 to 10 target guy, a top 32 wide receiver. All for targets alone and game script. All right, let's move on to the tight ends. The first tight end I'm going to talk about is Dalton Kincaid. And the reason why I like Dalton Kincaid is because he's attached to Josh Allen. Guys, you know, it's a lot of different reasons why we like players. We all got different opinions. But when it comes to guys like Dalton Kincaid, Dawson Knox, James Cook, Keon Coleman, they not the top guys all the time, but they are attached to Josh Allen, and I'm always willing to play those guys for a dart throw over a guy who we know he should be getting targets. He's not getting targets, and he's failing us every week. I'd rather go down with a guy who's attached to a superstar like a Josh Allen. So that's why I'm playing Dalton Kincaid. It's nothing to read into. You can't look at the matchup. You can't look at how many targets he got 3 weeks ago, what he did last year. Is Josh Allen going to be great? You can't look at that. You just got to know, you know what? I'm looking for a tight end. There's no elite guys out here really, but Dalton Kincaid out here, I'm going to play him, and that's all it is. I don't care what he scores. That's the only way you can get to some of these guys that's attached to some of these elite offenses and elite quarterbacks. Moving on, and then also they playing against Miami, who's giving it up behind the dumpster. Moving on to another tight end, it's going to be a tight end from New Orleans. He could get traded. It's going to be Juwan Johnson. He is playing against Carolina. Now, like I said, it's not an easy matchup. Carolina is transitioning into a top 10 defense, but I like Juwan Johnson as a tight end. So if you need a tight end to stream or a guy to play because you don't have a guy for next week, Juwan Johnson is a guy who can give you touchdown upside and targets upside. Moving on to another tight end is going to be Colston Loveland. Now, listen, this is the guy that you should spend 20 to 25% of your remaining fab on. This guy's going to be good. Remember, he plays for Ben Johnson. That's the only reason why I told anybody to play Colston Loveland. You drafted him in the first round. You have Ben Johnson as the offensive coordinator. Look what he did for Sam LaPorta. So I already knew the Colston breakout game was coming soon. Did I know it was this week? No, I don't claim to be, I know when it's coming. I don't claim to know when it's coming. I claim to know that the game script is counting on it. Like, they need to get this guy the ball in order for the offense to take the next evolution. So that's why I was on Colston Loveland. And it hit. So Colston Loveland, guys, I would spend a nice pretty penny on him this week and start him the rest of the season. Don't get upset if he don't boom for you one week. Remember, I didn't told y'all about doing that. I picked up a player and he gave me a dud. Sometimes they might give you a dud. That don't mean you go back to that well again. And last tight end that I want to talk about is going to be Luke Musgrave. They playing against the Philadelphia Eagles this week. And Luke is more of a downfield threat. Tucker Kraft is out for the season, so he had a knee injury. Happy belated birthday, Tucker Kraft. It was his birthday on game day, but I believe Luke can get a couple targets downfield. He did catch a couple targets after Tucker left, but don't think this guy's going to get a lot of manufactured targets and be used the same way Tucker Kraft. He might have 2 targets. One of them might go for a touchdown because he's 6'6". He can run. He can jump ball you. That's what his super talent is. He's not the yak guy that Tucker Kraft. He doesn't have the mobility that Tucker Kraft had. All right, and then my DST, I got one DST for you. It's going to be the Carolina Panthers. I'm pretty sure they out there on all people waivers. Go pick them up and start them against the New Orleans Saints. Yes, start them against the New Orleans Saints. Okay. All right. Let's see. Jay Moore, what's up, Jay Moore? He said, should I drop Horton for Harvey? No, I would want to drop Horton. I don't know why you would go to Horton after Horton has had a good game out of all the players that's been playing. Because Horton can't, after this game, with Cooper Kupp probably being faded out of this offense, there's no way that Horton, Jay Moore, I would believe, is the weakest player on your team, but he could be. It just depends on what you need. If you drop Horton and you don't need any wide receiver, you got plenty of wide receiver depth, yes, but somebody's going to pick up Horton, man, and play him against you. So I just want to let you know what you're dropping. He's probably getting ready to go and have a little mini breakout. He's got 5 touchdowns already. But I really like Harvey. And I think they're going to be transitioned. I think it's going to be more 60-40 Harvey going into the third quadrant. Right? We're going to we're still in the third quadrant. But in this third quadrant, I think Harvey is going to see more opportunities than J.K. Dobbins. Vamos says I started DK over Higgins and Vidal over Dowdle Payne. So listen, this is what I always say, and hopefully this reshapes your mind how you pick your starts and sits, Vamos. But Vidal was a good start. That's a great job, bro. There's nothing to be mad at. That was a great start. They're playing against the Tennessee Titans. You can't get a better matchup than that. DK is a good start, but you have to get Dowdle. You had to get Dowdle in there. Higgins, if you could, I don't know how many wide receivers you're starting, but to me, I told a lot of my subscribers to play Dowdle. I just trying to figure out why you couldn't get Dowdle in your lineup. That's why I don't like playing in leagues where I can't get my guys in my lineups and everybody on my bench is a starter. I hate those leagues. It's really, all you playing is a start 6 matchup game. Whoever can make the best starts and sits. Me, I like using my draft capital, the players that I drafted, are they better, and let my guys just play. So I started Dowdle anywhere that I had him, and Higgins should have been started with Joe Flacco playing crazy. There's no way you should sit any Cincinnati Bengals players when Joe Flacco is playing. From Chase Brown to Jamar Chase to T. Higgins. You can sit the tight end, you can sit the defense, but you can't sit those 3 studs. or actually 4. Joe Flacco, Chase Brown, T. Higgins, and Jamar Chase. Sap says, how are you doing today? Doing pretty good. D-Line in the building. What's up, D-Line? He says, in Dynasty, I lost Jaden Daniels all year, been struggling to fill his spot. I have Baker, but it's super flex Dynasty. And you're going to have to put somebody else in that super flex, man. Put a wide receiver or a running back. I did it a lot. One year, I didn't have nothing but one quarterback because my Trey Lance got hurt. And I made it all the way up to the semifinals, starting like Tyler Lockett and stuff in my super flex. D-Lion says, I traded Waddle and Dobbins and a third for Dart. In a super flex league, yeah, you won that. I have Harvey, so I'm good with what I given up to start a quarterback, for the start quarterback. Okay, the starter. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that, man. Waddle, he's a good player, but he's injury prone. Dobbins is older. He could go down with an injury anytime. And a third? Like, Dart could be worth 3 firsts next year. The way he's playing, man, he's a starting quarterback. He is the starter for the Giants as long as he doesn't get hurt. So I love that trade. What about now? What about now? Okay. All right. Ed Tay says Theo Johnson was a hit this week. Yes. The touchdown, whenever you playing with Jackson Dart, he gonna make plays. That's what I was telling y'all. A lot of y'all that was choosing Matthew Stafford or Jackson Dart or a couple other quarterbacks. Jackson Dart with his rushing upside, I play anybody. I like Wan'Dale Robinson. He didn't have a great game, but I like Jackson Dart the way he plays. It's hard to game plan against Jackson Dart. His mobility makes him like a Lamar Jackson, where it's no really game to stop him unless you can sack him. If you sacking him, you putting the pressure on him. But if you can't get to him, he can beat you with anybody. So Theo Johnson is going to be a good player to start whenever Jackson Dart, is healthy. Theo's going to be good. Good job, Ed Tay. Kumo says, what's up, bro? What's up? What's going on with you? Voltron, he says, hopefully no technical difficulties today. I know, bro. I got a different setup, so hopefully not for my lives. Appreciate y'all being patient. Alex says, what to do with Odunze? Keep dancing with the girl that you came with? That's all you can do. Sometimes that's all you can do. You know he the number 1. He drafted it as a top 10 pick. There's nothing else to do but play him. If you sit him, it might hurt you. It depends on what type of talent you got, right? If you got like a DK Metcalf on the bench, could you play him over Odunze? Maybe. Maybe not. Me, I'm always going to play my studs. If I got guys that's been struggling for 2 or 3 weeks, say if I had Brian Thomas Jr., if he's healthy next week, I'm playing him. I'm not going to sit him unless I got some type of superstar guy get ready to break out, like a Puka Nacua as a rookie or something. Other than that, I'm going to dance with the girl that I came to the party with. Jay Moore says Rico carried the Panthers. Yes, and he's going to keep carrying them. Jassy Hoop says, what up, bro? Javonte Williams and Deebo Samuel for Rico Dowdle and Roman Dunze. Okay, he says Javonte Williams and Deebo Samuels for Rico Dowdle and Roman Dunze. I like the Rico Dowdle and the Roman Dunze side. A good trade for me in PPR. I got a Dunze and Dowdle. No, you don't get no Javonte Williams and no Deebo Samuels. No. You keep playing Rico. If you gonna give up Rico, bro, you need to get a star. Like, not no superstar. You maybe can't get CMC, but I'm telling you, if you keep playing him, man, you're gonna be able to move up and get somebody like a Derrick Henry. I would not get off Rico Dowdle. for no Javonte Williams. I know Javonte's been playing good. He plays with a great offense, but I really like Rico, man. They're going to use this guy 20 to 25 times a game. Easy. Easy. So I will hold and try to do a better trade. Kuma says, Christian Watson, Troy Franklin, or DK. Rest of the season, with the injury to Tucker Kraft, I'm going to go with Christian Watson slightly over Troy Franklin. DK only had one or two targets. The punt return saved him. We can't do that again. Ain't nobody really worth starting on the Tennessee Titans. It's terrible. You can't depend on nothing from week to week. You just might have to go into the trash can and make a play if you need to, if you don't have anything else better. That's the only thing you can do with a DK. It's nothing to keep him in the flex for each week. Tony Pollard, Tajay Spears, you don't never know. You just got to play those guys when you need them. But I'm going to go with Christian Watson slightly over Troy Franklin because of the wide receiver need that they're going to need with Tucker Kraft going down. B Silver says, pick up Njoku, Jerome Ford, Will Shipley, or Cedric Tillman. Pick up Njoku, Jerome Ford, Will Shipley, or Cedric Tillman. I would say Njoku over Ford, Shipley, and Tillman. We don't know who the quarterback gonna be, and I'm not playing no Tillman with the backup quarterback that they have now. They said Njoku might get traded, right? That's why I'm picking him up. Why would the Browns hold if he is the free agent? If he is a free agent after this year, big facts. Or unless you're gonna give him the franchise tag, and they probably not gonna do that for a tight end. So I agree with you. Queen's Anne says good money now. What's good money, bruh? What's good money? Harami said prediction for Javonte's stats tonight. I say 1 TD, 70 yards, and 2 catches. So I think that's about 15 points at the floor for him. I think he gets 1 TD tonight. You got to give it to him. What's going on, Bo? He says pause. What did I say, bro? What did I say? Vulture says, so the Pats coach trusts Jennings more than Henderson? I don't think they like Henderson. They like him, but guess what? They getting cute. They say 6-2, 7-2. They cute, so they don't give a damn. Ain't nobody saying, the owner ain't gonna say nothing to them, so they gonna do whatever they want to do with Henderson. And that's what we see that a lot. Look what they did with James Cook for years. James Cook balling, they taking him out the game. They got Tyler Johnson in there when they down. They doing all kinds of shit to James Cook. They don't do it no more. When the coach finally came and spoke out about James Cook, hopefully that we won't see that weird stuff anymore. Right now, the Pats going to have to go through the same thing. It might take 2 years before they treat Travion. They might want to treat Travion as a couple passing targets out the backfield. Let him be like a James White. They might not never give him the full role. But yeah, I just think Henderson, guys, you're going to have to be patient, and he's only going to have a few big games. The Patriots are discussing the way they treat their running backs. They have always did that. They did it with LeGarrette Blount. The only running back I can remember them really featuring like that was Corey Dillon. After Corey Dillon last season, they have no integrity for nobody. They don't care about how they use anybody. Jesse Hoop says, okay, thanks. Anytime. Big Will in the house. I say Big Will in the house. Watch your mouth. What's up, bruh? Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Kuman says, good looking out. Anytime, bruh. Big Will says, everyone boom for the both of my teams. Caleb, J-Mo, CMC, Bowers, Managa, Josh Allen, Cook, Jamar. Thanks, TD. Bruh, let me tell you something, Big Will, and I'm proud of you, man. People might start hating because I'm gonna give you a shout out. First of all, you always on the live. You never hate. You not no hater, bruh. And listen, I'm not perfect. I don't speak perfect. I don't I have technical difficulties trying to get out content coming off of a job. You don't never hate. And I'm going to tell you something. I can tell it by your damn teams. Your teams are monstrous. Not because you listen to everything I say. It's only one play on there that I told you that I was off of, and that's Jamar Chase. Bro, congratulations. You got a super team. Bowers, way to stay with him. You didn't, a lot of people, oh my God, Titty, you ain't right about Bowers. But you stay with it. CMC, bro, way to go down and trust that. Way to pick up CMC. You could have not picked CMC. You could, man, he might get hurt. J-Mo, you stayed with it. You played him, bro. That wasn't an easy play. A lot of people didn't play J-Mo. They're not going to tell you on this live. But a lot of people didn't do it. Caleb, great job. Great job. I don't know about Caleb. I mean, I know the matchup was good. Managa, we know that, right? Way to hold on to Managa, way to have him on your team. Josh Allen, way to trust it, way to stay with him and not trade him. James Cook, way to pick him up and squeeze that. I know you told me that the other week that you did that with Josh Allen and Cook, and you did it with another, was it Jackson Dart and Scatterbo? And then you got Jamar Chase, the best wide receiver in the game. So, bro, I just want to give you a shout out. You killed it. Jay Moore says, been playing Rico since I added him off waivers. Wait, okay. Good shit, J Moore. My bad. Good shit, Jay Moore. Voltron says defenses are stopping Metcalf and forcing Rodgers to look for his tight ends. They need a good wide receiver too besides Austin. I agree with 75% of that. They are putting the safety over top of Metcalf, but Metcalf is never going to be a true alpha. See, and Voltron, I think the way you saying is like, well, TD, he might have one good. That's what DK, and I know that about DK, but I like that 40, 50-point week that comes with him 2 or 3 times a year. I'm going to win that week, and it's probably could happen in the playoffs. And he has a quarterback like Aaron Rodgers who knows how to hyper-target a guy. So what's going on, that the tight ends are so good, it's giving other teams mismatches. It's not that the tight ends, they forcing them to throw to the tight ends. It's just that's where their best athletes are at. They got Washington, who was the 3rd-round pick, I think, who was 6'8", 270, can block anybody, one of the best blockers on the team, can run, and he got good hands, right? So and Aaron Rodgers knows that. That's why he's targeting those tight ends. He's like, we got good tight ends here. Calvin Austin and Roman Wilson are okay, but they're not better than Pat Freiermuth and Darnell Washington. So that's what's going on. I like Metcalf. I like that type of guy, knowing what he can give me, the type of quarterback that he has, and I'm willing to play it. That's why I play J-Mo. But I understand if you rely on DK Metcalf to be consistent and to be giving you at least 13 or 14 points every single week, then bro, he's not going to do that. And I get that's what you're saying. So he's never been that type of player. Harami says, thanks, TD. Anytime, Harami. Jay Moore says, thoughts on Travion Henderson. I think he's a flex play. I'm going to play him long as Ramondre Stevenson is out. I'm going to put Travion Henderson in as a flex play, and hopefully he can give me a boom play. Joy, he says, I need a rumor that Pitt could go after Ridley. That Pittsburgh, I don't know, maybe Ridley might be okay with Aaron Rodgers. That's a good, I like that, Joy. I like that. Cutting edge content, Joy. Cutting edge content. Joy says, what up, TD? What's up, bruh? Jay Moore says, Sony Michel was featured for New England. No, he wasn't featured like that, bro. Remember, they was rotating him. He was getting hurt, but then he come in and get the goal line carries. They always have rotated. Maybe it's not as much as they doing with Travion, but they always have rotated their running backs. They might use you for a couple of weeks, and then they get you out of there, right? Or rotate you again, right? That's I never remember Sony Michel getting 300 carries. I always remember him getting like 150 to 200, and maybe have a couple games where he go off back to back. Queensland says, good money. I was referring to your sound in the background. Okay. I don't have any fantasy questions, but about ready to call it quits. Mahomes got me 9 and Gibbs got like 4. I'm watching to support the channel. Thank you, Queensland. Yeah, I get it, bro. And it'd be like that. I had Gibbs in a lot of leagues. I didn't have Mahomes, but it's like that, bro. It happens. Let's see. Shem says, bro, we are all imperfect, but Jesus loves us all. Come on now. Preach. Art says, bro, quick question. Do I get a word pass? No. Come on, moderators. Let's get some of this trolling out of here. If they trolling, get them out of here. Gabriel, what's up, Gabriel? He says, I think Marvin Harrison Jr. goes off tonight. I do too. I like Marvin Harrison. I don't know if he goes off, but I know he gives me a touchdown. I would think that he would give me a touchdown. I think he's a good, solid start. That's easy. Far as like it's Marvin Harrison Jr. Some guys ain't always like big time players, but they big time stars, if that makes sense. King Sirius says the hope for Kittle is that Brock Purdy returns in week 10. Right. The hope for Kittle is that Brock Purdy returns in week 10. I think Kittle can do fine with Jones, but yes, Brock Purdy hyper targets him. What's up, Don Padre? What's up, bruh? Yes, sir. T-Man says, Bam night, 19 fantasy points tonight. We hope so. I know he can at least get a touchdown. I'm gonna bet Bam to get a touchdown, Javonte Williams to get a touchdown, and Marvin Harrison Jr. to get a touchdown. T-Man says, I need 35 points and have Bam and CD tonight. Do I have a chance, bro? Yes, you got a chance. You got a killer chance. CD can get that by himself. Jay Moore says, what happened to Daniel Jones and the Colts? NFL. Bro, I think Daniel Jones played a good game. Sometimes you're going to get sacked, man. You got the TJ Watt. He knocked the ball out of his hands. Then you got other guys knocking the ball down or tipping the ball up, and he's getting an interception. Daniel Jones played good. It happens. That's why, and I try to teach here on Fantasy Good Sports to see those games and keep it going. Just like Pat Mahomes, nobody gonna be like, oh, I'm not playing Pat no more. No, you know what? That's a bad game. Next week, with who they got. And that's how you got to be. When quarterbacks show you in multiple quadrants that they good, let that one bad game go. Don't drop them. Don't spike drop nobody. Don't get angry. It could mess up you going forward. Big Will says, I'm not sure how I'm going to watch Monday Night Football anymore since YouTube and Disney couldn't work their what's going on? Let me know, Big Will, what's going on Monday Night Football. So you trying to say YouTube, they not going to have the package no more where you can watch all the games if you pay $200? Are you saying that Disney don't have a package deal anymore where you can get all the games? I didn't know Disney really had that anyway. Let me know what's going on, Big Will. Harambe in here putting in work, bro. I appreciate you, Harambe. Jay Moore says, B-John has to get back to his high horse, man. I don't know. Man, I don't like the coach. I don't like the way they're using him. Maybe B-John is not a bell cow. Maybe they think he can't take the full workload. Maybe they don't want to get him hurt. But either way, guys, B-John is going to be like a guy that I might fade next year. He's good, but if he's going to be sitting around and letting Tyler Algier steal touchdowns from him, I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it. So I like what you're saying, Jay Moore. Maybe I fade B-John next year. I don't think he's going to give you the #1 ceiling. I thought he could give you #1 RB ceiling. King Steven says, should Bigsby be rostered just in case Barkley is out? Yes. You always want to roster a handcuff. Not necessarily your own, but if you can get your own handcuff, do it. But don't drop really good players to do it. Like, I wouldn't drop an Alec Pierce just to get to a Bigsby, right? If that makes sense.